Welcome, fight fans, to the Pugilist Place. I'm Lawrence Mejia. Thank you for being here. We're so very lucky today to be here with Nelson Oliva, who, if things go to plan, will be making his professional debut shortly here in the coming months. Nelson, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here enjoying my Sunday.
Happy New Year. Are you one of those people that makes New Year's resolutions?
Um, I have before, but I mean, this year's been a little bit different. I know for like everyone, but it's just been like another day to me, to be honest. Just time keeps on rolling and just doing things day by day.
Right. You're exactly right. This is a unique year, or 2020 was a unique year, like
Yeah, yeah.
very few others. So you train out of Raincross Boxing Academy in Riverside, California, under the guidance of Henry Ramirez. The first thing I want to ask is, first, where are you located? Where do you live?
I live in Fontana, a little bit, I think, west of, oh no, wait, my bad, east of Riverside. Um, but before that, I was in San Fernando Valley. So I'd barely been here about like, I think 2 years now. And then I've been with Henry for 2 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I haven't always been here.
My
But
my girlfriend, she's from San Fernando Valley. What area abouts in San Fernando are you from?
um, a lot of people don't know it, but it's Sun Valley. It's super small, but it's like right next to North Hollywood.
She's
But
nodding like she knows where it is.
uh, yeah, it's like ridiculously small. It's like a strip of the San Fernando Valley because it's
How do you like the
huge.
how do you like the Inland Empire compared to San Fernando?
Um, to be honest, like I'm such a homebody. Like I don't go out anywhere. I don't really like. I stay so to myself. Like I don't see a difference. Like the only difference it's a Veterans Park. It's like a hike, like a 8 mile like hike that I used to run. And that's my only difference because I used to love that place. I would go like every weekend to do my trails. But other than that, it's the same thing.
In Fontana, do you ever run up Sierra Avenue?
Of Sierra Avenue, I have before. There's a nice little park there too, and then
Right,
there
that
you could, uh, yeah, it's like a nice little trail.
right in a nice elevation. That's what I was referring to. So
Yeah,
you mentioned that you've been with Henry for about 2 years. Henry is a
yeah.
well-known, well-respected trainer. How did that relationship begin?
Well, my old trainer recommended me to Henry, and I've previously known Henry from like all the amateur fights and stuff, and he's seen me around, and I've seen him around, of course, because of Josito Lopez, Chris, and Mauricio Herrera, and all those fighters. But uh, mainly, it's my old trainer just recommended me, and then I moved out here. We kind of like got a little bit of rapport, started working together, sparring, and all that. And he's been wanting to turn me pro, man, but I was a little bit hesitant. I wanted more experience in the amateur background, but I've been wanting to turn pro since June of 2019, and then it's been injuries. It's been well, coronavirus. It's been a long time coming, but we're here now. So if all
Well, that
things go
seems like
well.
that would be unique because a lot of times fighters are eager to turn pro. So that's shows that like some concern for your future career, that you wanted that amateur background to to help you going forward.
Yeah, he would say the same thing, but like he was like other guys are eager to turn pro. You're like a little bit hesitant. I was like, I just want to be ready. There's no turning back in the pros. Like I just want to be as ready as I can be for anything and anyone. And but now I've switched the gears a little bit, and my mentality is anything goes. I'm here for it.
And so you mentioned that you turning pro has been in the works for a while. I know that last April, you were supposed to turn pro, and you were very close to doing it, but then obviously the coronavirus upended all of that. What are some of the unique challenges that the coronavirus has presented to your training?
To be honest, it's been really hard, especially since I have an aunt that I live with, and she has cancer. So it's been really tough to like put myself out there at the gym because I know people are exposing themselves and I don't know what they do in their lives. But it's been a real challenge. And of course, like it's a different mentality, like when you're training at home than when you're training around with like other people and like you work a little. I work a little bit harder when I have a little competition. So it definitely has been a challenge, and but I've been managing and getting back in there and just protecting myself from coronavirus as much as I can in other aspects of my life.
Right, and that's good to hear. And I know that RBA, Raincross, has had to close down a couple of times. I've kind of heard from various fighters that sparring has been spotty because, like as you mentioned, fighters have been staying away from the gym. Are those some of the things that you've experienced too? Like as far as sparring, has sparring been difficult to get and come by?
I think we're just wary of it. Definitely, it's just been the professionals right now, and then but I was sparring Marcos Hernandez. I don't know if he was
Madman.
yeah. He just fought previously last month, but I had been sparring him in April. He was gonna fight Kirkland, and then which sucked about that is that he was on the day of his weigh-in. That night they canceled his fight, and then they already sent me to go get the paperwork to get my medicals done and everything, and then I got the call too that they canceled my fight and everything was off. But sparring hasn't really been an issue. I mean, I have good guys like Louis Lopez, Richard Brewer. There's this kid, Jesus Alvirez, Jesse, I think his name's Gonzalez or something, Jesse Gonzalez.
Lobito?
But yeah, it's been good. It's been good sparring.
Well, that's good to hear. And we wish the best for your aunt. And that shows a lot of your maturity in looking out for her because even though you're young and in your physical prime and a professional fighter, you know, you unfortunately could be a vessel to pass it along. So we wish your aunt the very best and hope the best for her. What weight
Thank you.
class do you fight out of?
154, super welterweight. So yeah, it's one of the weights where I feel like the strongest I'm at. I used to do tournaments at 152, but every time, man, I felt like too drained or too. It took too much out of me in tournaments, and I never felt like I competed my best when I did them.
Who do you feel like is the kingpin at 154 right now, professionally?
Um, Man, I don't know. That's a tough question because I don't really like the way Charlo fights.
Why is that?
But uh, his older brother is a little bit more composed, and then the one at 54, not older brother, but the bigger one, uh, he fights a little wild, but I mean he gets the job done. I really love Harrison and Hurd, but Harrison just he gets out of there too quick.
Were you at the fight here in Ontario over a year ago when you fought here?
No, I didn't. I didn't go. I've seen
Right.
him. I saw I was there live when he fought against Jared Hurd in Alabama it was Deontay Wilder's card.
Wow.
And yeah, he fought against, well, at the time I was going to the same gym as Gerald Washington. So, and then he was doing pretty good using his jab, and then he just got caught like everyone does.
Right. And anybody's prone to get caught in there, right? Inside the ring.
Yeah, man, against Deontay Wilder.
And
Big
especially
hands.
against historically strong puncher like Wilder. Your username on Instagram, Knuckle Nilsson. Is that is Knuckle your boxing nickname?
I don't know yet, man. I like it, but I kind of never heard that they pronounce or that they say nicknames before the name. So it would be Nelson, Knuckle Oliva. I don't know. That sounds weird to me. So, I mean, they could say Knuckle Nelson Oliva, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. For right now, I don't think I'm going to use it or anything. I'm just use my name.
But if you do go with it, it's pretty cool sounding. It's cool, and it has the the fight theme with it and fist. It's pretty cool if you do go with it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought about it like the marketing aspect of it, like putting on T-shirts and stuff like that. Like it's definitely like marketable, but I just don't know if like I want to stick to it yet.
And it flows with your obviously it flows your knuckle Nelson. It flows at least in terms of how it sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're a young man. As they say, the world is your oyster. You could be doing anything right now. Why do you choose to fight?
You know, I've been in it since I was 11 years old, and I'm 24 now, and it's just been like something always kind of takes me away and brings me back. Something always takes me away and brings me back. Be it other sports, be it life challenges. There's always that little thing ticking in the back of my mind saying, "Come on, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it." I can't explain it. Like it's just something unexplainable that I need to do and I want to do, and just give my best and all to the sport of boxing for the time being that I'm young. Because I could go study, I could go work at an office job, but my body's deteriorating as I age. So I can only do boxing right now. So that's how I think of it.
Right. You have this physical prime for a short period of your life, and you, like you mentioned, if you do want to go back to school and whatever, that's always going to be there. If it weren't for boxing, if you take boxing out of the equation, what would you be doing?
Probably the same thing I'm doing right now, working construction.
Okay, you work construction?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in the union, and it's pretty cool. It's fun. All the guys are really cool at my job, and it's cool getting things done, building things.
So that is a physically demanding job. Talk to us a little bit about your routine. I mean, so you go to a physically demanding job to then probably get off and then go train in another physically demanding sport. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Uh, yeah. Some days. Okay. So I work about 40 minutes away from work. I get up around 4:40. Pack my lunch and everything. And then we start at 6:30. Usually get off at 3. And then I work. It depends on what I'm doing. It could be either from concrete, drywall, framing. There's so many different things that we do, and it's like a great opportunity that they're teaching me right now. But I think of it as a workout for the most part. Like that's why I love when they put me to shovel. I'm drenched in sweat because I think of it as a workout. When they put me to use a sledgehammer, I love it because I'm thinking as an extra workout, and I'm just drenched and like gasping for air by the time I'm done.
You know, that reminds me of Andrew Consillo, who also he works for. He doesn't necessarily work in construction, but I think he works like with the gas company. And he would talk when he was a world champion, well, just about not too long ago, like a year ago, in training for his world championship fights, he would operate the jackhammer as workout while he was on the clock. So that kind of reminds me of the same thing.
I think he was saying, yeah, I'll be at work on Monday.
Yeah, right after he won, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane that you have that battery to do all of that day after day. Just hit repeat. I think
It gets hard, man. Sometimes like on the way home or on the way to the gym, I'll be a little bit sleepy. Like I have to like tap myself a little bit. It does get hard, but it's just something I have to do. It's just something I got to push forward because no one else is going to pay my bills. I mean, I have great support. I have great family. My rent's not that high, but just no one else is going to pay my bills.
just part of that grind until you get on and make it, right?
Yes, sir.
So as I mentioned before, you were really close to debuting last April. But if things go to plan, you will be making your debut here in a couple of months, or in a short period of time, hopefully, with Thompson Boxing Promotions. What is
Mm-hmm.
it? What does it mean to you to be able to debut on a platform like a streaming service with Thompson?
It would be great, especially since they're free. I could tell everyone, and they won't have to pay like $40, $5, maybe it for other pay-per-view channels. But it's cool because I mean, Henry gets most of his fighters on there, and I think what Richard's doing, Louis doing, it'll be great to be on that platform. And I know they have what are the other, Ruben Villa. They got other fighters that they build on for that platform, and I just want to see how it goes on their platform.
Right, and as you mentioned, I mean, Ruben Villa, you got Danny Roman, you have
There you go, Danny Roman.
Michael Dutchover. I mean, they develop world champions, and I mean, even go back, Chris Arreola, Josecito Lopez, Tim Bradley, and I mean, don't knock the hustle. You got to debut where you got to debut, but this is something where thousands of eyeballs will be on you, and there's a lot of credibility behind Thompson. It's well regarded in the industry, so kudos to you. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works out and you're able to make your debut with Thompson.
Thank you. One thing I do want to say is I'm extremely grateful for that, because I did not want to go. I don't like the thought of going to TJ and getting a fight. I don't like that thought. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
So why do you not like that idea?
That's a handout. In some way, it's, I mean, I know it's part of the building up a fighter, but to a certain degree, that's like overkill to me. But I know some people have a different food for thought on that it's keeping someone busy or getting them started or seeing the look of the fight without a headgear. But I'm just grateful I don't have to travel there or go out of the way or pay out of pocket for a fight like that.
Right. And I mean, you would know better than I, but I mean, you hear things on social media, either kind of talk between matchmakers and promoters and just different people close to the sport. And yeah, I mean, some claim, it's just paying for a victory and weird stuff. I've heard people even like if they go down there and things don't go their way, that they pay to have losses erased. And it's crazy down there.
I'd heard that one, that, all right, like it was like a rumor or whatever that it happened to like, I forgot who said it. I forgot who said it, but it was like, I don't know if it was someone at 135 said it. It was like Rolly said it to about someone at 135, but I've never heard that happen. But I mean, it's plausible. It's very plausible.
Yeah, who knows? But it's just a crazy thought, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy thought. But I've seen it go the other way, and they accepted the loss. But I've seen it happen like that.
So when the time comes and you do fight on a Thompson stream, a lot of people are going to be familiar with your fighting style. But for those of us still in the dark, describe your style of fighting.
It really depends on the fighter. If I'm gonna get someone who boxes and they're better at me at boxing, I might be the pressure guy. If it's someone who's gonna pressure me, I might turn into the counter puncher. It all really depends, but for the most part, it's gonna be behind my jab and a straight left hand. But it really, I gotta say, it just really depends on who's gonna come at me. Because I could turn into a pressure fighter, I could turn into a counter puncher, I could just move around, use my jab. It really depends.
So you're multifaceted. You can adapt to whatever adversity you might face.
Yes, I want to say so, because there's no one trick that's going to work on everybody.
What do you figure, or what do you believe is your best singular weapon inside the ring?
My brain. It's got to be my brain. Calm, cool, and collected all the time.
Very good. I think you mentioned that you started boxing at the age of 11. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what took you into a gym for the first time?
So my older cousin, he's about 5 years older than me. His name's Sergio Oliva. My dad took me to the gym he was training at, and I saw him train. And I was like, man, that looks cool. And so fair enough, my dad started taking me to the gym. And my cousin had this weird allergic reaction one day, and his throat like swelled up, and then for some reason he couldn't train anymore. I think I don't want to be say for sure, but it was something to to the fact of his sweat, and it would like close up his throat. But he had to quit, and my dad was like, "Do you want to quit?" And I was like, "No, like I already made friends here. I already started doing well, and I just got really into it and when I was younger."
So it didn't worry you at all, the idea of blood and sweat and getting hit in the face?
No, no, I used to wrestle with my older cousin, get all bruised up. Before I used to be, man, I used to be a daredevil. Like I would not care about anything. But I mean, I'm a little scared now to get hurt. Not from boxing, but I'm saying like snowboarding or skateboarding. I'll never do any of that stuff anymore because I'm scared of getting hurt. But before, I would jump off cliffs. I would do anything. Try backflipping off a fridge once. I'll do anything, man.
So you were rambunctious.
Yeah, yeah. I was a tough kid to handle.
The first time you got punched in the face, what were you just like, let me get back?
Yeah, I was like, damn, man. Like, I just want to get this. Like, I just want to get this back. Like, I'm gonna go after him. But it was against my cousin on my first day there, and he like punched me out of the ring. And being 5 years older, he's just a bully.
You mentioned so your dad took you to the gym for the first time. Did you at all get any pushback either from from anybody in your family about continuing with your boxing career?
No, never. All they really say is just train hard, and if this is what you want, you gotta get after it.
Go for it. You mentioned so you mentioned you talked about your amateur career earlier. How extensive was it?
I had 36 fights. I had 30 wins and 6 losses.
Do you as you go forward into your professional career, do you wish it could have been even more robust than that? Are you good with what you experienced as an amateur?
I'm good from what I experienced, but like I wish I had a. So there was a time period of in high school where I played water polo and I did swimming, and I wish I continued my amateur career throughout that and just went through all the tournaments and just built up like that tournament experience over those years. But it is what it is, and there's no more falling back on it. So I'm okay with what I have.
And what else did you play besides water polo?
I did swimming.
Oh, wow. And, it's funny because there's this idea that, in terms of high school sports, football players, the toughest, strongest, water polo. If you played water polo, you have to be in amazing shape. They're like high school water polo athletes are so like cut and just in physically great shape. It has to be the most demanding of the high school sports, I think.
I could say so, man. I used to. It was tough. I would go to swim practice for from like 2 to 4:30, and then right after go to club practice from like 6 to 8. Be tired, but it's what I wanted at the time, and I was just getting after it.
So were there any fighters, either past or present, that you've looked up to?
Funny enough that I was really I like qualities of fighters, but I don't like I don't want to say I look up to like a certain fighter, but I like the certain qualities of fighter. Like for example, Teofimo Lopez, his confidence is like up there, but I love the quietness and the humbleness of like someone like Chocolatito. Like I love that too. Like it's just different qualities of different fighters that I like. Like Errol Spence Jr. He's so see when he got into the accident, I didn't think like I thought it was crazy because the way he spoke and the way like his post fights interview were so humble and everything. I didn't think he was hanging around that crowd. So to me, it came into like a shocker. But it's just different qualities of different people that I like. But I wouldn't say like I look up to one certain fighter. Like what really got me into boxing was Vasquez versus Marquez.
Oh, wow.
And man, those fights were crazy. And I was like, man, I want to be that tough. But as I got older, my point of view started changing. And I was like, man, boxing's the way to go. Mayweather is really. but I don't like that quality of Mayweather where it's like it's just me, 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 me. It's just different qualities of different people that I like.
Interesting. It's very interesting your take on the key figures in boxing and what appeals to you and what you like and don't like. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. Um, so you've been in training camp for your pro debut. Talk to us about some of the specific things you've been working on for your pro debut.
To be honest, it's always goes back to the basics, fundamentals. I always love training with the fundamentals, head movement, getting what is it? I'm blanking out right now. Ring. What is it called?
IQ?
Ring generalship
Okay.
Yeah, ring generalship. And behind the jab, always simple stuff, man. Simple stuff will most likely get me in a long way. I think what was the saying? The left hand will take you some places, or the cross will take you some places. The jab will take you around the world. So I hope that's true, and we'll see.
You can never overstate the importance of the jab, right? It's the most important.
Yes.
I'm always curious. Henry has had a whole sorts of different fighters. He had Chris Arreola, who was very offensive, and then now he has fighters who like Richard Brewer Jr., who's kind of a boxer puncher. How do you see what kind of philosophy is Henry preaching to you?
Definitely more of a boxer. He does like when I do press because he knows or what he says is I have power. But it's definitely a mix. It depends on like what I was saying before. It depends on who I'm sparring, who I'm training for. It all depends on what I'm doing.
Right.
But it's definitely qualities of boxer, definitely qualities of counter punching, pressuring. It's just different coaching styles on depending on who I'm sparring.
Right, and probably looking at your strengths and then trying to, build upon the strengths and specific. His advice is probably specific to the fighters and their various strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
So the butterflies are going to be going pro debut. You only get one. What can we expect from you when you make your pro debut?
You know, I want to be very calm, relaxed. I want to be in there like if I've done it 1,000 times. I just want to flow. I want it to flow. That's what you might expect. Me flowing in there and just calm, cool, and collective. That's what I want to do.
And look like you've been there before, right?
Yeah, I want to look like I've been there 1,000 times.
Well, like I said, we sure are hope that things fall into place and then you make your pro debut on Thompson, because that'll be just awesome for your friends and family. And as far as like the boxing community to get to know who you are and what you're all about. Before we get you out of here, I like to do something I call the 10 count. It's like 10 rapid fire questions. You down?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Away we go. What's your favorite movie?
Pulp Fiction.
You're a fascinating guy. Favorite musician?
Favorite musician? Dang, I can't really think of the fast one and say it to that one. The Gorillas.
Interesting. Favorite sports team?
I don't watch sports.
You don't watch sports at all, but boxing?
I don't. Adam Lopez, one of my friends.
Blue Nose, right?
Yeah, Blue Nose.
Favorite fast food restaurant?
Chick-fil-A.
Favorite cartoon as a kid?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Who was that?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Who is that? Or what is that?
You never seen that?
No.
Where it's like time to do, and they'll be playing with the cards.
What channel was it on?
Dang, back then I think it was like Fox, maybe. I don't know. It was either Fox or CBS. It was one of those channels.
I gotta look it up. Celebrity crush.
Dang. It used to be Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, probably Scarlett Johansson.
I see. I want to ask more questions, but then it wouldn't be rapid fire. Favorite thing to do away from boxing?
I'm sorry, what?
Favorite thing to do away from boxing?
Um, Play video games.
What's your favorite video game right now?
Right now, PUBG, player something. I don't even know the full name, but Battlegrounds or something.
So I was going to ask this question, but I've been away from gaming for a while. Is the Xbox versus PlayStation still a thing? Like, is there still a rivalry between those
Oh,
two?
definitely.
Okay.
There's like a bunch of memes on it. It's hilarious.
Okay, I was going to ask, but because I know PlayStation's still a thing, but I wasn't sure if Xbox is still around like it used to be. Favorite
Oh,
city to?
I'm an Xbox.
Oh, your Xbox.
Yeah, I'm Xbox.
Okay, very cool. Favorite city to visit?
mm, Favorite city to visit. I've only been to so couple cities.
Where would you
LA.
like to visit? LA. Where would you like to visit?
I would love to visit Tokyo.
Ah, okay. I think that's like the second most populated city in the world, behind Mexico City. Favorite thing to do in the Inland Empire?
I don't know. Go off roading.
All right. I know it might be a little difficult because you mentioned you're a homebody. The reason why I asked that is
Yeah.
because I end up talking, being from here, from Riverside. I ask a lot of fighters who come here because this is the fight capital. There's tons of professional fighters that fight in Riverside and in the Inland Empire. And I ask a lot of them when they come here to train, like, what's your favorite thing to do? And they're like, there's nothing to do in Riverside. There's nothing to do in the Inland Empire. I'm like, there's some stuff. Run up Mount
Yeah, there's
Rubeho.
some stuff. I don't like Mount Rubeho though.
Either does Henry. Henry hates Mount Rubeho. Why do you not like it?
It's too short, too populated.
I got you on it's too populated. I'm really, really close to it. And it's like, under normal circumstances when, you don't have a pandemic going on, it sucks because there's a million people going up the mountain.
And no one wears their freaking mask.
Man. Come on, people, right? Get it together.
I know.
We all want to return back to in-person boxing shows and things getting back to normal. Come on, people, do the right thing. So, Nelson, thank you so much for your time. We genuinely appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck in the coming months and you making your pro debut. Where can fight fans follow you on social media?
At Knuckle Nelson, no K, it's NuckleNelson, Knuckle Nelson.
And that's on Instagram. Do you have a Twitter?
I do have a Twitter, but I don't really use it for boxing or anything like that. I just use it for funny stuff.
So my advice, like your fans and your followers, you're going to get a lot of those through Instagram. But the people that will cover your career, like the sports writers and members of the media, a lot of them are on Twitter. Most of them are on Twitter. So start making more use of that Twitter because, the articles that will be written about you and whatnot, that's where they'll go. So words of advice.
All right. Thank you. I will do it.
Thank you, Nelson. We appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
You too.